screen is visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And I have taken a lot of batches. Okay, so my request is this: please always be interactive. Okay, then only I can able to understand the level of understanding from your end. And if you have any doubt, stop immediately and raise your question. Okay. First thing, it is the batches part. Batches part. Selenium Python. For Selenium Python, first of all, you need to know Python. Okay, that is mandatory. In the interview point of view, okay, if you are attending the interview with the experience level from the beginner, okay, as a fresher to experience, maximum 5 years of experience, okay, 0 to 5 years. You have only coding questions. Okay, only coding questions. That coding question may be a different design or different expectation as per the project requirement. So basically, you need to know Python very well, the core Python. Okay, without Python, without coding skill, without logical manner thinking, you cannot able to clear the interview. Okay, I am not going to scaring you. Okay, I am telling the reality. Okay, that is not a big deal. Okay, programming is not a big deal. It is a kind of a, you may aware. Okay, it is a logical thinking only. It is a mathematics. Okay, how you understanding our school level of mathematics, the same kind of a skill you need to have to learn the code. Okay, so you have to understand the Python at least scratch to up to at least advanced. Okay, not with, I'm not telling about without any libraries. Without any libraries. If you learn libraries, additional libraries, that would be a more value added for your interview. Because see, because currently I am in the interview panel in my company. Okay, so I know that how we are screening the profiles. Okay, for the interview. Okay, you must know Python with the coding knowledge. Okay, with library is more value added, because sometime in testing, in the automation, we may require some additional libraries like NumPy, Pandas, then OpenCV, so etc. Some additional libraries we require. Okay. This is for Python. Python will be your 80% in the interview part. Okay. Selenium only will be a Selenium questions related to Selenium will be only 20% in the interview pattern, because they know that, okay, the interviewee know that Selenium is not a big deal. So they can easily hire you without asking single question from Selenium side. But the harder part is Python. Okay, you have to know, I'm listing out the topics. Okay, you have to understand and learn the topics Python separately. Okay, because that is a core Python. Okay, so, and one more thing, this batch is a Selenium Python, but we are not taking any core Python here. Okay, because some students may understand this course will be a Selenium and including Python. No, Selenium is a separate topic, separate batch, separate course. Python is a separate course. Python is a pure core Python. Okay, because understanding Python itself, you need to take a 45 days. Okay, so there are a lot of topics are there in order to understand Python. Okay, so if you want to learn Python, learn with separate courses, separate batch. Okay, I will tell you the topics if you are learning in your own. Okay, these are the basic topics you need to be understand to manage. I'm telling this topic or for managing the interview and the real time Selenium project. Okay, so you need to understand first variables. Before to that, what is interpreter and compiler and how it is working and how it is. And for your information, I will be covering some of the topics. Okay, because we are learning a course is a Selenium. Without Python, we cannot implement any code, single code from telling you. Okay, what are the data types? Data types in Python. Very, very, very important topics. It is a simple and very basic topic, but in the technical aspect, this is one of the main concept. Okay, you have a different types of data types and it having inbuilt methods. Data types and its built-in methods. That is very, very important. You need to know how built-in methods works here. Okay, that is very, very important. So coming into data type, numerical, string, the numerical itself, you will have an integer, float, then complex, then coming into string, then collections. When you coming into collections, you have a list, tuple, set, dictionary. Dictionary is a kind of a mapping. Okay, mapping, dictionary. And you have a yeah, we have a binary. Okay, so binary is optional. Okay, it is also one of the data type, but in the regular scenarios, we are not much using with the binary set, but these are mandatory. Okay, these are mandatory. You have to understand not only what is list or what is tuple, that is not expectation. Okay, for list, you have a 15 different types of built-in methods. Tuple, you have a 5 different types of built-in methods. Set, you have a 30 different types of built-in methods. That built-in methods, you need to understand how it is working and what are the purposes. Okay. Then coming into operators. Okay. What are operators in Python? Operators and operators and its different types. See, in your entire automation, not only in automation, even in developing, okay, entire developing, only these fours are you will be using in 80%. Okay. Without this, there is no program because these are very, very basics. So we will be doing more smart program implementing these topics with using these topics. Okay, so that is a purpose. You need to very high level, not only high level, in depth. Okay, you need to understand because all that high, experienced programmer, they only knows these topics. They only know how those are working. They won't understand or they won't maybe well proficient in the advanced topics. But because these combinations topics are working in advanced. Okay, so be clear on these topics. Then coming into conditional statements, looping, then exception handling. One of the important question in interview aspects. Okay, exception handling. Interview questions. Exception handlings, then oops. Okay, very, very important. Not only in Python, all the programming languages, oops are the pillars of their design pattern and the technology. Okay, so when you coming into oops, you have an inheritance. 5 different types you have. 5 different types that you need to know. 5 different types. Okay. Then inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. That's it. If you are well good with this 4 topic, you are not a tester, you are a developer. Okay, because developer also using these 4 concepts in all the programming stuffs. Okay, very important. And in the interview aspects, you may expect most of the question from this 4. Okay, there may be a logical question, but these questions, the questions are may come from this 4 topic is a maximum level. Okay, then advanced topic. So these are the basic topics you must know, and the upcoming advanced topic is anonymous functions. Anonymous functions. When you're coming into anonymous function, lambda, map, filter, reduce. These are the things you need to know. Then decorators. Main topic. Okay, this is a design pattern. Most of the automation they are using a decorators. Okay, so in the Python topics, if you take Python topic, these are the maximum. Okay, I will give us an option because not everyone expecting rejects. Okay, if you learn rejects, it is like a shorthand. Okay, if you learn rejects, that would be a value added. Then file handling. File handling is nothing but how to read an Excel file, how to read a PDF file, Word document, CSV file, JSON file. Then how to manipulate the file. That is file handling. Okay, this is a basic file the basic technical thing regarding with the file handling. When you're coming into a advanced, then you may require a pandas. Pandas is one of the built-in library, advanced library in Python in order to handling the data. Most of the data engineers, data analysts, data scientists, they are well proficient with the pandas. Pandas are okay. It is not a big deal to understand pandas. It is very simple. Okay, here we need to write some program in order to manipulate the data. But here there are already built-in methods are there in order to manipulate the data. That is only different. Okay. Okay. Coming into Python, these are the minimum level of understanding you need to know. Any questions until here? Moving on to the next topic. So these are all expectation from Python side. Okay. Then coming into Selenium, that is mandatory things you will compulsory you need to know. Okay. Then database. Any one database you need to know. Okay, either SQL or MySQL. That is not mandatory. Okay, but I can say the percentage of requirement of database is 70%. Okay, because most of the projects they will be using a database. That is very simple only database. Okay, so you need to know how to connect the database, how databases are working, how to connect database using Python, how to database is nothing but it is a Excel kind of X. How to manipulate the database. That things you need to know at least. Then API. Okay, you may in your automation you may have your project may be on API testing, only API testing. For that purpose, you need to know API. Okay, so these are all you may expect in some experience level. If you are attending the interview in the experience level, these questions may expect. If you are entering with the fresher level, you may expect questions from here and here. These are all optional. Okay, these are all optional, but from experience side, you need to know. Okay, so what is mean by API, how APIs are working, how the request and response we are getting from the web, because we are doing an automation for web page, right? So how the web pages are working, that basic understanding we need to know. Basic. Pandas, OpenCV, Python. Okay, then frameworks. Very, very important topic. Testing frameworks. Okay. Without testing frameworks, there won't be any project. 99%. Okay. Yeah. So since we are a Python, say, okay, Python have a different frameworks are adaptable. Okay. So you need to know either PyTest, Cucumber. I would say you need to learn both. Okay. This is not a programming. This is not a coding. It is a design pattern. Okay. It is a design pattern of the automation project. Okay. So you are developing an automation script. Okay. You are developing any code for automation project. They may need to follow either PyTest framework or Cucumber framework, because these are design pattern how the project should be to structure for easy code readability, easy maintenance. There are more flexibility should be your code. Code should be loosely coupled, because when we coming into a testing, we may encounter with a different level of testing, right? Like a unit testing, sequential testing, end-to-end testing, regression testing. So we may have a different types of testing. So the aim is that implementation of a one single code should work for multiple level of testing, different types of testing. So for that approach, they need to go with either PyTest or Cucumber. Cucumber is mainly focusing on JavaScript. Okay, I can say 90% Java with Selenium, they will be focusing on Cucumber. Very rare scenario. I won't say that Python, they are not using a Cucumber. Chances are there. Okay, but mostly they will be preferring PyTest when you are developing an automation coding in Python. Okay, because PyTest, you can say it is a Python test. Okay, this framework only you can able to use in Python, but Cucumber is you can use for both Python and Java as well. So these two frameworks are expectation in real time. Okay, so at least you need to know this too. Some project they may use POM. I will telling you about how POM works, how we need to implement the design pattern for POM. Okay, that it will be including in Selenium courses. Okay, so only you need to learn additionally PyTest and Cucumber. Then coming into okay, so when any MNC company, they will be following an agile methodology most of the time. Okay? Most of the time, they following an agile methodology. So if we coming into agile methodologies, then you need to know some tools. That tools is not related with your programming, but that related with your project. Okay, these topics are more value added. Okay, if you know this. Okay, so either you need to know Jira or Azure. Okay, these are for assigning the work, working on the. So since we will be working in some projects, right? So your team leader or Scrum Master, they will be assigning some work to us in order to complete the project, right? So there will be some, monitoring how the people is working, how long they are taking, how much work we need to assign to the respective test developers or tester. They need some tool. So they may use Jira or Azure to assign a work, monitor your work. Okay. Then sprint plan. Okay, these are some topics that you can go with the any Google site, understand what is mean by sprint planning. Okay, what is mean by sprint? What is sprint? What is daily stand-up meeting? These are regular activity. What is retrospective meeting? So these are the some basic understanding, because since we will anyhow, you will be working in agile methodologies 99%. Okay. If you are working agile methodologies, these are the patterns you need to know. What is sprint? Okay. What is daily stand-up meeting? What is retrospective meeting? How these are conducted? Because obviously we will be working on with some stakeholders, right? So the stakeholder will be conducting these all the meetings in regular patterns. Then Git, either GitHub or GitHub or Azure or GitLab. Anything is fine. Okay, these are repositories. These are the repositories. Okay, it is mainly used to maintaining our code. Okay, so it is one of the important topic you need to know. Their questions, they may be very less in the interview aspects, but in the real time. Okay, in the real time, if you are joining as experienced, there may be you have a question in the scenario basis. Okay, so how you will be matching your code, how you will be resolve your conflicts, how you will be reviewing your code. So those type of question may rise as scenario based questions. Okay, it is mainly used to saving our code, maintaining our code. Okay, because in a single project there may be a different peoples, they may number of peoples may be work for the project, right? So each people work on their own development. Okay, so all the program will be finally coming into Git. So our repository, from this repository only the final outcome of the project or product will be moving into production. Okay, so you need to know Git. It is very simple, very easy only. You can learn yourself. It may take hardly, it will take 2 to 3 hours. Okay, Git. Fine. I think I'm done here. So these are the expectations you need to ready with your interview side. Okay, if you are at least, because these are the expectation in your resume. Okay, because when the interviewee or technical person screening your profile, they will be looking for these all the items. Okay, if it is there, the first level of screening will be good. They will be picking you for the interview. That is very, very mandatory, right? Okay, so you need to be at least learn these all the things. You have a 1 month of period. Okay, we're learning the Selenium, parallelly learn these all the things. Okay, I would suggest you that first to learn Python from today itself, side by side learning these all the topics. Okay, you have a lot of YouTubes, you have a lot of common websites are there, you can learn. If you have any doubt related to Python also, you can reach out to me. Okay, separately. That is not a part of course. I'm just trying to understand, helping you understanding the learning part. Coming into Selenium, that we will be covering database. Again, database API and frameworks. Frameworks is mandatory. Okay, 100% you need to know. A database APIs are optional. Some project they may ask, some project they may not ask. Okay, Agile methodology Git, that is mandatory. These are not a technical things. It is a additional knowledge things. Okay, you need to learn. Just read out kind of it is kind of some theory only. You can read and understand the concept daily day-to-day activity, how the Agile projects will be on. Basically, you people are more on manuals and most of the peoples, they may have Agile. Okay. How the Scrum Masters are working, how the task are assigning. You may experience. I'm just telling for the person who not aware about this Agile methodologies. Okay. Any doubt until here? Any questions? Yes. So there are three components we require in order to develop the web application. So the web application has been split into three different parts. One is front end. Okay. Another one is a back end. Another one is a API. Okay. So these three are three different technologies. Okay. So front end normally will be HTML, either CSS or Bootstrap, JavaScript. API, any library, any supporting library, either RESTful services or Django. It depends on. Okay. When coming into backend, it may be a Java, Python, or .NET. Okay, anything, whichever the application is getting developed, etc. And when we coming into backend, database also included. Okay. This combinations of three single application is getting developed. Okay. So probably you may come to know that the designation called full stack developer. Okay. The person who have a well experienced knowledge in all the things, all the technologies. Okay. The one person who developed the front end, the same person who developed the back end, the same person who can able to implement the API, who can able to interact, do the code implementation for DBS. Okay, so who is a full stack developer? Sometimes some company they may have a full front end developer separately, back end developer separately. Okay, database developer separately. Okay. So most of the time it will be a front end developer and a back end developer. So when we coming into an application, okay, okay. So when we coming into an application, okay, it is own application, correct? It is a web-based application that is called Google. So this application is splitting into two different parts. Any application, okay, any web-based application is differentiating into two different parts. So one is header, another one is a body. Okay, and when we coming into the development part, front end and back end. Okay, whatever we are seeing as visually, that part are front end. Okay, so basically back end part. Okay, back end part is an action part. Okay, front end part is a UI part. UI is nothing but user interface. Okay, user interface. So whatever the user. So I am the user of a Google. Okay, I am doing some interface. I am doing some interaction. So I am a user interface. Okay, so whatever you are seeing here, right? So these are all technically we will be saying as an element. Okay, about is an element, store is an element, Gmail is an element. So these are all, everything is technically called as an element. Okay. So how this application, the front end is getting structured. So basically, you can see the HTML. This HTML part containing a program, it is a tag-based program. Okay. This tag-based program contains these all the elements. So whatever you are seeing, right? ABOUT, STORE, Google, URL. So the icon, the color. Okay. These everything will be not color. Okay, only the text which is developed, implemented in the HTML. Then coming into either CSS or Bootstrap, anyone. Okay, it is used to make beauty to your application. Okay, this technology deciding that how make we can more style using for only for style purpose. Okay, so we can see here this Google having some font size, some font color. Okay, and it is having some style. Okay, so these are all we can implement using the Bootstrap or CSS. Okay, so everything. Okay, see here about is having a font size and it having some font color and font type. So these are all deciding, implementing in the Bootstrap. JavaScript. JavaScript is an action part actually. Okay, so basically the JavaScript having the program for this HTML. The HTML basically having all the texts. So how when we are hovering, so and when I'm hovering the text, you can see there is a one underline is coming to the respective element. But when I'm hovering to this text, I'm not saying anything. So this is a button. This is a button. This is the input box. So which means that each and individual element having some respective actions. That action is taken care by the implementation part is taken care by HTML, but the action part, when we are clicking the Google search, okay, for example, I am typing a Selenium, okay, I am typing a Selenium and hitting a Google search, it is redirecting. It is redirecting to the respective page. It is giving some output, right? It is because of the backend with the JavaScript, including JavaScript and backend. Those backend program we cannot able to see. Only we can able to see the actions. What is the actions? So when we clicking the Google search button, when we clicking the button, it is redirecting. It is giving some output, right? That output is because of the program which is implemented in the backend. So this backend is basically interlinking with the JavaScript. This JavaScript interlinking with this HTML. So by this interlinking, whatever we are clicking, for example, I am clicking about, it is redirecting. It is going to the respective URL. You can see the URL is getting changed. So this page having a different URL. When I'm clicking about, the URL is getting changed. That is how it is happening. It is because of the interlinking with the JavaScript and the backend. But how the backend and front end is getting tied up, how it is getting connected. So basically, when we clicking this element, how it is redirecting to the respective URL, how it get to know that. So see here, when I'm hovering this, you can see in the bottom, you can see here, okay, there will be some URL will be showing. That URL is the respective URL for this element. Okay, it is because of the API. What is meant by API? Application Programming Interface. Okay, so there are some, most of the projects they will be doing a API testing as well. Okay, so you need to know what is meant by API and how it is working. So API is an intermediate person. Intermediate person. We should do an example. It is a good example. So when we coming into an API, everything is a request and response. Okay, so maybe you learn about the request and response. If not, please learn that. Okay, it is a very simple. Using any library, we can implement the request. Those requests having that data returning the output. Simply we can say that, see here, Facebook application. Okay. So basically I'm giving some username, I'm providing some password. Okay. When I click this login button, you can see it is taking my request. So which means that you can see it is loading. What is mean that? The API receiving my request, it is checking in the database. It is checking in the server. So you can see it reached to the server and it giving some output. Okay, so it is saying that in the database, they don't have currently this detail. That database is coming in the backend. So database having all the data or respective data for that application. So when we giving a username password from the front end and when we hitting the login button, this API carries our request. Okay, that is called request. You can see this request is receiving by this API and it is going to fetching the server. Server, it may be a backend DB. So it is searching here whether the provided information is available or not. If it is there, it will give the respective response. For example, I'm giving my correct username and passwords. So what it will do, it will fetch and it will give the response. My respective profile get open. If it is not there, it will saying they have implemented the code for negative scenarios. Okay, so it will show this kind of error message. So they may be, so if only they implemented the code for the negative reason, we will get this output. Okay, so this is how the backend development team implement the program based upon the actions of the front end. Okay, so basically API is an intermediate person for the front end and the back end. Okay, so basically the application get work in such a way. Okay, so this is how the web application is getting developed. Any doubt until here? Okay, so you can see the program of this page. Okay, so we have an option to see the code development for the respective page. So this is the window. Okay, so always the web application is differentiating into two different parts. One is the header part. You can see this is alone header part. Okay, you can see the icon, one image, and you have one text. That is a header part. You can see the black line. Okay, so this dark color is a body part. Okay, so basically web application is segregating into two different parts, header part and body part. You can see the center. Okay, so this is not related with the front end or back end. It is providing by the application, that Chrome application. So I have opened the browser, right? So back button, forward button, refresh button, and the URL path. So these are all the icon belongs to browser, not related with the application. Okay, if we open in different browser, it may change. The way of appearance is getting changed. Okay, we cannot able to identify the element here. Okay, that is why I have said only we can able to identify the body part and the header part, because that is the application part. Okay, so how we need to identify the program for this respective page? Do the right click. Okay, you can see view page source. This view page source having the program. This program is a combination of HTML and JavaScript and CSS, either CSS or Bootstrap. Okay, so you may see these are the some URL. You can see HTML. It started from here and it's ended here. Okay, basically you can see there are some methods, some conditions has been implemented in the JavaScript. Okay, you may see some styles. Okay, that is related with either CSS or Bootstrap. They have implemented the dark light thick color. So basically they have implemented some font size that very hard to see those detail over in the, you can see style tag, right? So these are font, style font, a normal font. That way it should be some, we have giving some number. Based upon this number only, we are able to see the font size, font color. They will be implementing the color as well. So in this page, view page source, it is very hard to identify and understand the program. We can do, but it will be a little bit hard. Okay, so where we can see simply using the inspect option. Okay, using this inspect option, you can able to see the program. It is segregated everything. Okay, you can see the CSS Bootstrap of the either CSS or Bootstrap, the style related with all the styles of that application. You can see here minimum height 92 pixel. The display should be a flex, and this is the respective color. Column center, it should be in the center. So the alignment, everything for the respective element they have implemented here. Okay, so this is related to the style part. Coming into HTML, that HTML you can see under the element. Okay, so this is your searching the element button. When you click this, when you navigate your arrow, it will say you that what type of the element it is and what type of color they have implemented about the code implementation for the respective element. See here, when I'm hovering this, you can see here. Okay, when I'm hovering this, it is changing the respective element where it is located in the program. See, when I'm hovering this, you can see here, it is showing it is highlighting the respective tag, which means that this div tag belongs to this program. Okay, for this element. Okay, so that is how we need to identify which navigation is respective to which element. So we need to understand what type of implementation they have done. Okay, see here, SVG tag, it is based upon the style tag. So they have given some attributes and value. It is related with some height, role, image, view box. They have given some program. So everything is a HTML program here. Okay, HTML is nothing but it is tag based program. You can see doc type HTML. What is mean this? This is normally called as a shebang command. Okay, shebang command. Normally when we are doing a program, okay, we need some platform. Okay, we need some platform in order to write our program. For coming into backend, we either if we are implementing in Java, we need Eclipse or Microsoft Code. If we are implementing a Python, we need a PyCharm, Jupyter, IntelliJ, this kind of a platform we require. Those are called IDE. Okay, integrated development environment platform, because those platform accepts our program, that will read our program, we can able to write our program. So when we writing our program and implementing in other places, using in other places, the respective platform need to understand our program, what type of program it is. So this line is saying that below to all the lines of program is related to HTML program. If it is a Python, they will be saying that doc type Python. Okay, so basically when interpreter or anything which is reading the program, okay, identifying this line, it will understood that following all the lines of program is related to the languages of HTML. Okay, that is what it means. As said earlier, application is coming into two different parts. One is a header part, another one is a body part. You can see when I'm hovering a body part, it is highlighted the entire body part, each and every corner. So this entire program, when I am maximizing the dropdown, you can see this all the program is related to the body part alone. This is for header part. You can see title. This title is nothing but whatever they have implemented here. That is what they have implemented in the title. Okay. So, and again, URL. This is the URL. So, and they have implemented some styles, everything over here. It is belongs to the header part. Okay. So basically the application is differentiating into two different parts, header and body. Any doubt until here? Okay. Here is, you can see there are multiple tabs are available here. Okay. Console. So this is the page. You can see the API is working here. Okay. In network also we can able to see the API. Okay. You can see the status code. So the 200. Okay. These are called HTTP response code. Okay. So there is a code meanings are there. Okay. HTTP codes meaning if it is a 200 within the range from 200 to 400, they are having a respective meaning. Okay. It 200 is a, we are getting the correct response, good response. If it is a 4, you can see that. This is what I can do. HTTP code. Just closing this. So you can see these are all status code. If it is 200, we can see the action is okay, which means that successfully it retrieved the source, which means that the API successfully reached out to the server and it has some data. That data it is received and it has implemented successfully. So based upon the respective output of the status code, we can able to see the respective actions. If it is a 400, we may end up with bad request. You may encounter this type of error in real time. Let me show you some example. Broken link. So see, this is also one of the error. We can see what type of response. We are not getting any response. It is not responding. Okay, it's not responding. I think they have decommissioned, I guess. Give me a minute. Sometime when you open, you will get this kind of a request. The page is not working, which means that you can see it's saying that HTTP error 500. So this status code is a 500 status code, which is related to internal server error. So what I'm trying to explain, each status code reflecting its own unique error or unique action response. So based upon that, you come to know that whether it is working or not. That you can able to see in the network page. Okay. Try to inspect this page. You can see those API related details. Okay. API related details you can able to see here. You can able to see here what type of response we are getting, how the APIs is interacting, those details. Coming into sources. This sources taking care of the JavaScript program. You can see content script. Okay. This content script having a program related with JavaScript. Okay, this page is not showing anything. Okay, let me show you. This actually I will show you. So you can see these are all JavaScript program. Okay, backend program. These programs are interlinking with the elements of the HTML. Okay, whatever the element they have implemented, that we cannot able to identify. We can able to identify. Okay, it will be little bit hard to understand the program because we are not implemented, right? It is implemented by some other developer. We need to sit and we need to do. It will take some time basically. Okay, because we need to know this line. Okay, this line is interlinking with which line of program here, that we need to sit and we need to debug it. Okay, it will take a time. But basically what I'm saying, this is a JavaScript program. That program is interlinking with the HTML element. That is how the action part is working here. When we are clicking the login button, how this action part is taking? Because of this login button is basically interlinking in the backend with the JavaScript. Due to that action, we are getting that output. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to explain. And you can see these breakpoints you need to understand. Okay, in real time, you may face multiple challenges in order to inspect the elements. Okay, you need to know how to use the DOM breakpoints, event listener breakpoints. You have a lot of event listener breakpoints are there. How you need to use this. These are all basically how to freeze the page manually. Okay, in order to identify the element, in order to inspect the respective element. Okay, it is depends on the application basically. Okay, some application we can easily inspect the element, some application we can't. We need those breakpoints helps. Okay, if in our class we encounter with this example, okay, so basically these are all having a own details related with the respective application. Okay, you can able to see and get the detail about. So these are all memory, privacy, security. These are all not related with our automation. When you coming into automation, networking, for based upon this, we are not doing any code implementation, but for understanding. For some time when you are doing automation, you may end up with the error. Okay, it may not work properly. At the time, you can able to see what type of how the APIs is working for the respective page or application or window. Okay, for that purpose, I'm explaining this page and JavaScript. Sometime event listener, handling of event listener very coverage. Using JavaScript, we are not doing anything. But event listener, we require, we need to know how to use the debugging concepts. Okay, coming into elements. We only most of the time we are using this HTML in order to identify the element to make the automation. Okay, so these are all very high level and basic details of the application, web application, and this is how the web application is getting structured or developed. Okay. Any doubt? Any clarification? I'm audible, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So coming into the next part. So far we have seen how the web application is developed. So now we will be going to see that how Selenium, the automation tool, is interacting with the web page, because we are implementing, writing the program in somewhere, how that is working or interacting with the web page. Okay. Let me show you the Selenium part. So this is the official page of Selenium. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Selenium teams releases a new version, upgradation, and it changes related with Selenium. You can see here. Okay. So Selenium supporting only these 5 languages: C#, Ruby, Java, JavaScript, Python. Other than that, we cannot implement the program for automation using Selenium. Okay. And coming into, ignore this IDE and grid. These are not related. We are not going to use. Okay. Even though future this may be get removed from Selenium. Okay. These are some additional plugin for some kind of, sometime we may use for Java, but in Python we are not going to use anything here. Okay. IDEs, they have some giving some application. We are not, it is a plugin. Okay. We are not doing anything based upon playwright concepts. Okay. We are not going to do anything here. Okay, because we are using a PyCharm IDE in order to implement the program. So, and coming into supporting browsers. Okay. Selenium supports only these are all the browsers: Firefox, IE, Safari, Opera, Chrome, and Edge. And it supports only these 3 OS. Other than any OSs exist, we cannot use the Selenium over that. Okay. So these kind of things you can evaluate related with the Selenium. Okay. And coming into uh, trying to show some, so before to that. Okay. So this is a Python official page. Okay. Python official page related to all the libraries, all the supporting libraries by Python. You can able to visit in pypa.org. Okay. So this official page holding the documents and the details about all the libraries. Okay. We have a n number of libraries in Python. Those all the libraries we can able to see those details. Okay. So here currently the Selenium available version is 4. 4.35.0. So previously, before Selenium 4, it was a Selenium 3. Okay, so there was a lot of difference. So we need to know some history, how Selenium get evolved, how Selenium is using frequently in the current market. Okay, when Selenium 3 got implemented, okay, there was a lot of challenges, lot of manual intervention was there. Okay, still it was using with the Selenium 3, but comparing to 4, there were a lot of manual interventions on that. Okay, how Selenium is working basically. So Selenium, not only we require Selenium, okay, along with the Selenium installation, we require a web WebDriver manager. Let's move into somewhere. WebDriver manager. Okay, WebDriver. It is also one of the library. Okay, by using this WebDriver manager only, they can able to interact with their respective browser for Selenium automation. Okay, so basically we need a driver file. What is mean by driver file? So you can see this is one of the application. It is a Chrome application, Chrome browser. Correct. It is a Chrome browser. For browser, if I want to open any application in Chrome browser, what I need? I need to install the browser in my laptop. So I need to download, I need to install. That is a driver file. So basically, if I want to, you can see where it is. This version is frequently get updated. Okay, so how the previously it was working, the same previously the Selenium 3, how it was working, the same thing got automated in Selenium 4. That is the main advantage. I'm trying to explain that advantage actually. So in Selenium 3, whenever currently it is 139.0. For example, tomorrow, if it is the version got upgraded to 140, then the Chrome got updated. So previously we need to install this Chrome driver manually, and we need to store it in some location in our machine, in our laptop, in C drive or D drive somewhere. We need to store the driver, and that driver location we need to provide to our program. Then the program identify the driver, then it will works. So the previous implementation was like this. Okay, so we need to say WebDriver.chrome. I will explain you what it is mean there. Okay, it is one of the function. Okay, we are providing the path where we kept our driver. Okay, in C drive, home, user, respective driver name, under that they have kept the driver. So what was happening? What was the disadvantages of using this type of an implementation? So after frequent releasing, upgradation of the Chrome, each and every time we need to use the latest versions of the Chrome. What is happening? The driver is getting changing. We need to keep on you install the driver, downloading the driver, installing into our machine. It is making the memory management very hard, and manual intervention was there. Each time we need to change the code by manually. So what was happened? Using this, the manual intervention was a lot. Automation is less, making our program very slow, because if our system is getting slow, the program is getting slow. The driver is number of files is sizes of the files is getting large, the program getting slow. So what they have implemented in the 4, they have changed this entirely using WebDriver Manager. This WebDriver Manager is taking care everything related to the driver, not only for Chrome, all the drivers. Okay, all the supporting drivers, Chrome, Edge, IE, Getco, Opera, Firefox, everything. They have taken care using this WebDriver Manager. It is a library. This library is specifically used to managing all the driver automatically in the runtime. It will install, it will download, it will install, it will identify the latest version, and in that respective version, our program will implement the automation that we cannot able to see manually, but that everything will be happening in the backend using this library. Okay, but how this driver is interacting with Selenium? It is basically using a W3C protocol. That is a driver architecture. Okay, in Selenium 3, so basically this W3C protocol is acting as an API here. Okay, so in generally web application, our API, okay, either RESTful services or Django or the intermediate or person, right? Similarly, W3 person is an intermediate person, one who mediator for browser and our code. Okay, so previously what was happened? There was a different types of protocol they have used. One is for as code implementation and another one is for a driver in Selenium 3. So when we coming into Selenium 4, see here they have used some JSON protocol, HTTP protocol, and the W3C protocol. Okay, combinations of these two protocol. It was for Selenium 3. But coming into Selenium 4, they have implemented everything inside W3C protocol. This single protocol makes the interaction between our program and the driver. Driver means the web page, making very fast. Okay, so there may be a question may arise in the interview. What type of protocols we are using? We are not doing anything. It is for your information. Okay, Selenium 4. Using W3C protocol. It is a WebDriver standard compliant architecture. Okay, this protocol is acting as an API between the backend program and with the respective web page. Okay, so this is how the Selenium gets interacted with the respective application. Okay, any doubt until here? So these are some common information. We can say some, it is an introduction part. Okay. Now we need certain application in order to the automation. Okay. So we need video. So we are doing a code implementation using Python technology, right? So we need a Python. Then we need a place to implement the program. So here we are using PyCharm ID. Okay, so we supposed to download and install. So PyCharm ID will be looking like this. Okay, so it is a Python. If you get a chance, you can download and install. Otherwise, we will see in the tomorrow class. Okay, we need some setup. If you are making any mistake in this implementation, installation setup, it won't work in your machine. Okay, that we will be seeing tomorrow. After implementing that, we will be going with few basic Python concepts. Okay, after completion of the basic Python concept, we are moving with. Okay, this is I will be telling about basic concept. Very important class. Okay, very important topic you need to attend. That is my suggestion. And then we will be moving with Selenium topic, how to install, how to do the setup for Selenium program, how the automation, how to implement the automation, how to interact with the browser. That we will see. Okay, fine. I'm stopping the class today here. If you have any doubt, whatever we have discussed today, let me know. Otherwise, we can wind up for the day.